Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are doing the first update showcase thingy of our build. Now, one thing that I do have to say is that we have ditched the wolf antics for two things mainly. One, there's still the bug with shapeshifting and chart stuff, and two, we have the lunar hull thingy that gave like 30% extra cold not working anymore. I tried it, and now when you go out of wolf form it doesn't work anymore. Same with the bear one that happened before. Now the showcase that you will see is nothing crazy. We are just using, as you might see, will slam, getting power charges, getting frenzy charges, using charge regulation. Basically now the only thing that we will get is a lot more damage, and also we have to get the Archon for our Chayula build. Now I am going to show one fast boss that I did just before, and this is to showcase how we got power charges and other things. I will explain how later, but this is a tier 3 or 4 map because remember I just finished the campaign earlier. Now the first thing we do is we get our frenzies, then we get some power charges. Here I didn't even put charge stuff, and the boss of course doesn't have a lot of health. It's like 1 minute or something like that, but we do kill it very easily. Ideally, of course, I also dropped one divine. That's why I made the clip. Found it very funny. And I also found a very weird bug with Flickr. It seems that this happens when you have hated charges and also the other one, that sometimes you get a reset and then your Flickr stops doing damage, and then only my charge stuff is doing damage. That's why it shows so weirdly. Now, as for the build itself, let's go into it. We are an Acolyte of Chayula, Hachadino Aldur. Not much has changed since other builds. The only thing that has changed a little bit is why we do go for Infusion of Power. Eventually we will use a Megalomaniac to get that one. Also, Remnant Attraction is very good because that one paired with Choice of Power. As you can see, I'm standing still and I'm getting a lot of my flames. If you also have the Glove mod, even you will get them even from further away, and it's very likely that you can get to 10 stacks very easily. And also, as you know, 10 stacks of that one is a huge deal of damage. As you can see here, my base damage is like 900 and something, and chaos damage is more than it, so we are getting more than 100% of our damage from that. Now this is kind of a work in progress. I really do remember I wanted to use rent and other things to get that extra damage gain as lightning. Right now this breaks the build unless you do it in a special way that I will explain a little bit later. Of course, into the bridge with harmonic remnants and remnant potency. Also get used to the sound of getting the flames because it's going to happen all of the time. Charge stuff with prolonged durations. Blind, I will explain why. Apart from, of course, they get less accuracy and also less evasion. Charge blazing critical. This is to get the flame element on our bell, and also to proc siphon elements in the future. Charge regulation, very good. We get the 3 kind of charges, so we get power from this. And of Chayula with Sniper's Mark, Eternal Mark, and Charge Profusion. Eventually we will get Despair, and then for the final it depends on what we want. Maybe hit and run so we can do it super fast. Tempest Bell with Rage, Overabundance, Ancestral Call, and Armor Break. This is how we get our endurance charges. Lingering Illusion, this is temporal until we get more power on our elements, thingies, with charge profusion and prolonged duration. This makes it so they last longer, and when they get popped, they give us some power charges. Mantra of Destruction, of course, prolonged duration, deadly gratification, chaos mastery, and in the future, elite kindness. But right now, not yet. Now we're in assault with pinpoint critical, ancestral call, cold atonement, and ice bite. Eventually, the idea is to not have cold atonement, but to have just some flat cold, and that's enough to proc ice bite. But right now, I do need cold atonement to proc ice bite from the bell. Then flicker strike with perpetual charge, close combat, inexorable critical, and blind sight. You can put combo on this instead if you want. It's 40 instead of 30. I'm using close combat right now because sometimes you get stunned when you are trying to flicker, and that expands the combo, and then you have to build it from 0. Dagger in palm with a stun, pinpoint, and momentum. This makes it so we crit, and when we crit, because we have quite a bit of multiplier, we do get a lot more stun prowess. Now, eventually, of course, I do want to put Brink on Whirling Assault and also on Tempest Bell, so we can prime for a stun more easily, and then custom critical with Firestorm and Devil Bomb. Then we'll use Boundless Energy, Fluke, and the other one that also gives energy back, making it way easier to get infusions. We are mainly getting fire infusions right now on hitting rares and uniques, and for all the other things we are getting the power charges from just using our dodge roll. Now, one thing that I want to say is that I did get the Serpent Sect randomly from a ritual, but it is not necessary for the build at all. At all times, it's better to have a +3 melee skills and then some stats, because we will need the resistances and other things. Same thing with the helmet. This helmet is whatever. You want to have a helmet with, of course, critical strike, but more evasion or energy shield with the subterfuge mask. But I don't think I am going to go for subterfuge right now. Still a little bit farther away, and it did get nerfed, but you still want to have a 400 ES shield helmet to get that. Of course, we are using pure evasion chest with Feisty Spirit. That is how we get to use our spirit skills. And there's ideally you had a +2 gloves, but I couldn't get them, so you just have some resistance. And Leech's Life and Leech's Mana. These boots are very good for damage, but eventually you can replace them for ES or evasion boots, depending on how it goes. You do want at least some chaos resistance on your gear, because remember, we are going to go for Archon. So Chayula's gifts does help us get a lot of chaos resistance, so if you can cap it at 85, it's going to help a lot on surviving chaos damage. Now belt, it's whatever, you get some life and resistances. Eventually we may use a unique belt, but that's a thing I still need to see. Of course, staff, try to get as much feast as possible. Attack speed is actually not needed, but it's welcomed. And the dream quarterstaff is with critical strike multiplier, critical strike chance, and level of melee skills on suffixes, and then as much physical as possible. Because we can only use one essence right now, the dream essence, of course, would be to have that 33% added fees as a prefix, and then get all the other suffixes natty. But it's very, very difficult for that to happen, so the best thing you can do is try to get the multiplier as a base, then with an essence get the critical strike chance, and then try to desecrate the chance for plus melee. And of course you should have already decent prefixes, like this is nothing crazy, this is like a tier 4 and a tier 6, and then I used an essence when I had this prefix, and these were the natty tools. The best base is the Sinister or the Bladed one. Sinister because it has more critical strike as a baseline, and the Bladed because it has the best base. Of course you can also use a Guardian one, that 14% block, it's very decent, let's say. And also you will want 2 unset rings in the future, just so you know. If you want to see some rings that are very good, try to have them as unset. As the other weapon, right now I'm using this talisman, but we will see if they fix the problem with shapeshifting. We may keep using talismans, and if not, we shall see what we use. There's a very strong parry shield and other things that you can use to just go in and out very fast in your other skill. And that is it for now. I won't put an export or anything, but just baseline crit things with charges, all of the charges, of course, as you know. We did lose one charge that was over here and it got sent to like here. So if you can anoint this one, very good, but it's quite expensive, so don't bother. Just try to get something decent defense-wise, because right now damage won't be a problem as Flicker Strike. Flicker does a lot of damage, and if you can get your Staggering Palm and the charge stuff, every single hit you do is like 300% attack more. So that's everything. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video.